Hello and welcome to Who You'd, an official Doctor Who watch along podcast. I'm here with my co-host Ben. How are you doing today, Ben?
Well, Cam, I'm doing good. Just saw The Naked Gun.
I saw that last week. It's pretty good, right? Right?
Yeah, kind of like the old ones, which I watched 2 of the 3 for the first time, more recently. It's pretty, I would say, humorous throughout, not only, like, laugh out loud at a couple points, but the couple points, I laughed pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then the rest was like, "Uh-huh, yeah,
There's. I would say
mhm."
there's a good. I was laughing for a decent amount of the movie.
Yeah.
But there was a real. I got a really good laugh. I would say, like you said, like a couple of times. Good enough that I was like, yeah, that they nailed the tone of Naked Gun.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Uh,
it wasn't a laugh a minute, but I had a really good time. It was quite good.
like I just watched the first one the day before I saw the new one, and it was pretty much. I would say I laughed pretty much equally for both of them.
Mhm.
Yeah. I thought that Liam Neeson was a good fit for that Leslie Nelson role. It's kind of
Oh, absolutely.
a hard it's pretty much one of those hard things where you can't really replace that guy because Leslie Nelson is very much only in that Leslie Nelson is Leslie Nelson. So I think it was a good idea to do someone that's completely different with Liam Neeson, but also Liam Neeson can do humor very well as well. So yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna do another one, if they're just gonna do another Zucker Brothers type of comedy, like try to
Maybe
do
they'll do
something of that
Airplane
style.
next.
Of- Well, it's like, could they do like a superhero type thing, like a Naked Gun? I have no idea. If that would even be that would probably suck. But anyways, this is not a Naked Gun podcast, Ben.
No.
This
This is a Doctor Who
is a
podcast.
Doctor Who podcast where we watch all of Doctor Who. Well, we watch all of Doctor Who starting from the 70s. You watched it up to the 60s. You started from
Yes.
episode 1. I am almost a lifelong fan. I've been loving it, but my classic Who knowledge is not. I have some blind spots. So
And
we
we're
started this
filling those
podcast,
in.
and now I'm filling in the blind spots and watching it with you. And this week we are on State of Decay, which is around the halfway point of season 18. This broadcast November 22nd through December 13th, 1980.
On BBC One, no doubt.
Yeah, on BBC One. Written by Terrence Dicks. It's been a while since we had Terrence Dicks story. It's gonna be a while till we get another one. This is his second and last story. Basically, if you don't remember from Horror Fang Rock's episode, Ben, this is was supposed to be the Horror Fang Rock episode before they had to replace it with Horror Fang Rock.
Oh, interesting.
But they were doing BBC was doing its own Dracula series, so they had to change it last minute. This was in the production offices. So John Nathan Turner read this as well as the director of this episode, Peter Moffat. So they decided to make it this season. What I read on TARDIS Wiki is that the script editor for this season, Christopher H. Bermead, did some rewrites and he made it a little bit more less like what we got, which is much more gothic horror, much more like a season. It feels like this could be a season 15 episode, right? Not to get too much into what we feel about it,
Mhm.
but much more gothic horror than we've had in a while. And it seems like Christopher H. Bermead wanted to be more in line with what this season is, and much more science fiction, a hotter science fiction tone to it. While Terrence Dicks and John Nathan Turner and Christopher H. Bermead basically made it to be what we got, which was much more in line with the original version of the script, or it is just the original script, which would have been in season 15. Which you can kind of feel that in particular with the inclusion of
Vampires?
no, Adric, because Adric
He definitely feels out of place here.
Adric, yeah, he's very much like a last minute. Oh shit, I have to add Adric to this.
Yeah, I have a feeling, to jump ahead a little bit, that Terrence Dick maybe didn't even really like him. Um, Cause I just thought he was written to be really unlikable here, where he's just like
Right, Ben. We'll get into it when we get to our thoughts on the episode. But anyways, Ben, let's just get right into it. What are your general thoughts on State of Decay?
Pretty good. Um, Probably the best so far. Very interesting setting. I think everybody minus Adric is pretty good here. Um, that's about it. Good music.
My opinion is I quite enjoyed this story. It feels like a season 15
Yeah.
story. It feels like this, not even season 15, it feels like a season 14 story. This feels like it would have been in the Hinchcliffe era. I'm kinda wondering how this would have been like with Tom and Leela.
Mm,
Like, that would have been a fun story, with Leela being much more, like, trying to fight the
I feel like
vampires.
that would have
That
worked
would've been fun.
well.
But, no, I think this story it is just Terrence Dicks just knows how to write a solid Doctor Who story that can just work, and that is just, like, enjoyable. This isn't the greatest story in the world, right? But, like, it's works. It keeps my interest throughout, and I am enjoying myself while
Mm.
watching it. Even though when I get it from, like, what I think what you were just experiencing, when I really do think about it, it's like, what are my general thoughts of this? Like, I don't have too much to say just because I don't think there's that much there to to latch onto, but it's
Yeah,
enjoyable
I
nevertheless.
definitely enjoyed my time, but moment to moment, I don't know. It's hard to break it down. Mhm.
I do like the mood of the story and like the vibes that gives off and
Very gothic, of course.
the setting. Yeah, like it's very gothic and I there's something it was like this with last story too, but there's something with Tom's outfit in season 18, the more maroon red outfit in like the green forest environment that kind of just works for me.
Mm,
I just love that imagery of the doctor just wandering around in the forest. This incarnation of Tom, and like one thing I gotta just mention right off the bat. Sometimes Doctor Who does a thing where, especially New Who, that like they'll do like a fantasy esque thing, but they'll be like, ah, no, never mind. It's like a science fiction version of this. Like we're gonna explain it to make it be a little bit more real. But like, I love that Terrence Dicks does not care about that. It's just like, no, these aren't like science fiction vampires or like they're not really vampires. There's this other thing. Nope,
they're
they're vampires.
vampires, the ancient enemies of the Time Lord.
Which are we can get into that. So this kind of drops us a bone in some Time Lord mythology and history that they fought the vampires. Ben, what did you think of that? And did you ever think that the vampires and Time Lords fought before the Daleks?
I can't say I did. It it's hard to picture anything than just like Dracula, which I know these vampires are not. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. I guess we don't really see the um main evil big bad vampire other than just like a giant hand.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
king vampire.
Um I don't know. It feels very like base for the Time Lords to be. I feel like the Time Lords should be fighting like the forces of the universe, the great evil, and not Dracula. I don't know.
Yeah, like god beings that want to like rule the time that's disrupting time. Like there's something there that like the Time Lord should be all about like we're protecting time itself. But instead of like there's something like this where it's like, now they're just fighting vampires.
Hmm.
Even with something like the Daleks, it can be like, oh yeah, the Daleks they already have set up even in classic. The Daleks were messing with
They were
time, so
messing
it's
with
just like okay, that makes
time
sense. That like
in season 2.
yeah, so that it's kind of set up there that like yeah, the Time Lords are gonna probably want to do something there. But vampire, who knows? Maybe the vampires were getting into some time shit that they were messing up with the time streams, man.
Maybe. Or maybe they are truly one of the most evil beings in existence.
And even Rassilon was like, "We got these guys. We got to take care of them with all our
Yeah,
power."
yeah. Gotta drive stakes in their hearts. It's a little odd.
With like a ship.
Yeah, like a giant uh bow gun ship. It's
Yeah, because we
presumably
Terran Six was like, we need something in the third
yeah,
act.
presumably they are giant creatures and they need giant ships of steel. I don't know. It's a little strange.
So
Does Time Lords or does vampires being the ancient enemies of the Time Lords and specifically Rassilon's involvement with them come into play in the new series, Cameron?
no, not at all. But even though there's literally an episode called "Vampires in Venice," but that episode, spoilers, Ben, for when we get to it, that one does what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, and they're not really vampires, but we're gonna call the episode "Vampires of Venice" just because it's a good
Mhm.
title. But supposedly, according to Titus Wiki and some quick Google searching, the Time Lord Victorious arc. Did you hear about this,
I'm
Ben?
familiar with it.
It's a multi-media event that like Big Finish comic books and like
Oh, yeah.
books combined together to do like an event, and supposedly in there we got some stuff with the vampires, and State of Decay has something to do with the Time Lord Victorious series. It's on the
Interesting.
list.
As, like, precursors to it?
Yeah, the road to the dark times. On the list is, in case you're curious, is Planet of the Daleks, Genesis of the Daleks, The Deadly Assassin, State of Decay, The Curse of Fenric, The Runaway Bride, and The Water Mars. So who knows? Maybe there's a big finish where he's fighting vampires again.
We will have to check out Time Lord Victorious at some point.
Do we?
I mean, when we get closer to it, I would.
Like when we get to 2020, when we get to 2020, or at least between August 2020 and February 2024.
Yeah. Why not?
It's it was a weird event because it's like, okay, yeah, so Jodie Whittaker's the doctor, but we're gonna do an event that mainly is David Tennant as the doctor,
Mhm.
multimedia. It was just like, what? And basically, in Doctor Who's history, all those multimedia events all have failed. Like there was one that like the Doomsday
Yep.
Clock, which was this British girl that was just like I think she was a comedian that was then everyone just was bashing hate on her. And they're trying to do one now. I don't know if you saw it with the Fugitive Doctor with Joe
I did
Madden.
not see this.
I think that one probably has the most could have the most success just because that's the one that the
Do you
fan
know what
base
that is?
wants to know more about that doctor
Circuit
and wants to love
breaker?
that doctor.
Is that what it is?
I don't remember
I
the
looked
name
up
per se.
interesting, yeah. It's called Circuit Breaker. BBC Audio, Big Finish, Doctor Who Magazine, East Side Games, which is the people that do the Doctor Who mobile game.
But is that the NFT one?
No, the Idle game, Lost in
Okay.
Time, which is a reskin of the same game that that company has done like 10 times, you know? There's like an Office version, there's
Hmm.
I don't even know. It's slop.
Does it pain
Cheech and
you that when we
Chong.
do get to the new series, there's a bunch of iOS mobile stuff games that you're just not going to be able to experience, Ben, just because like they got taken off of those stores, the storefronts, like the lost media, Ben.
It will hurt me.
Like there was I remember in particular there was a 11th Doctor and Amy iOS game that I got on my iPod Touch in 2011. Forget the name of it. But it's very funny that when you die, the doctor regenerates. But also they didn't do a new animation for Amy. So when Amy dies, the companion, she also regenerates and has regeneration energy. It's very funny. It was called The Mazes of Time, by
Yeah,
the way,
I'm
if
looking at it
anybody at home was
now.
was curious. Awful game. Awful game. That I don't know if there's any way to play it. Like, could you emulate old iOS games? Is that even a
Not
thing?
really. Apple is pretty locked
Yeah.
down. If there's a Android version, then you can get an APK. Like
Yeah.
Doctor Who Infinity, you can still play because I had an Android version. But
Very funny that Doctor Who: The Mazes of Time has a Moby Games page, man.
mhm.
That is very funny to me.
Back to
But
State of
anyways, this is
Decay.
not about Mazes of Time. This is about State of Decay. Ben, what did you think of the feudalism aspects of State of Decay? Are you looking at what feudalism
Maybe.
is?
Yeah.
Someone need to pay attention to social studies in 7th grade.
Yeah, it's interesting, the contrast between the nobility and the common folk, and both their perspectives on their place in life. Definitely saying something, perhaps. What did you think?
I like the having this be like, okay, yeah, this isn't fucking Earth, remember, because we're in the East Space, man. This is the East
Ooh.
Space trilogy that we're covering. So like the not on Earth, so like, but Terrence Dicks is just gonna incorporate medieval society in here, so he's gonna include feudalism and basically have it be like, okay, you got the nobles, which is the vampires, and you got like the poor folk, which is like the serfs. It's like, okay, that's it's kind of fun for the first episode or 2 to be like,
Before we
okay,
get
we got this.
all in
They
on
have
the
to like,
vampire stuff.
yeah. But like having like they have to like have the like, is it a sacrifice at the beginning? Like like there's a kind of like a draft type of thing at the beginning of the
Yeah,
story with all
the
like
people
the
that are
peasants.
be sent to either become guards or to have all their blood drained and given to the
Yeah.
king vampire to
Very
weed
cool.
out
Very cool stuff.
the weak so that the strong breed so they can take their place among the chosen ones.
And how do you think that relates to 2025 America, then?
You know, that's just like real life. We're all, you know, our government's all about killing off the weak
Taking on blood?
and breeding the strong together.
Okay, Ben. What else is there to talk about? What did you think of Tom's performance this episode? Do you think this is a good Tom performance, or do you think this was a bad Tom performance? Because I got a story before we get into your thoughts, Ben. I got a
Okay.
story for you. So, according to Titus Wiki, this was one of the times where, of course, Tom being Tom does not get along with the director, and the director thought that the Tom was stepping over his bounds as an actor, telling other actors how to do how to perform and basically doing the responsibilities of Peter Moffat.
I think though, kind of like Pyramids of Mars, I think Tom is a good actor, and he used that anger and frustration and channeled it here, and I think it kind of works. That he is frustrated with the rebels who won't rebel, and with the
Yeah,
vampires who aren't leading, and just everything's gone to shit, and no one will listen to him.
but unlike Ben with Pyramids of Mars, Peter Moffat got to Tom Baker. You want to know how he got to Tom Baker, Ben?
Yeah.
The only way you could get to Tom Baker is with a bear. So he took him out for a bear, and it was like, Tom, let me do my job, and he got through it to Tom Baker supposedly.
Is it no relation, Peter Moffat and,
No, no relation at all. Peter Moffat will go on to do the next Aaron Dick story, which is
mhm.
Five Doctors. But yeah, this is a good Tom performance. I think, like you said, the just season 18 Tom as a whole is just not as energetic as some of his other
I think this is
seasons. There is that sense of just I don't want to be there, and there's something to this episode where that kind of does
yeah,
work.
he wants to get out of there, get out of E space.
Yeah, and there's also something to, like you said, I did find amusing some him with the rebellion, with the rebels. I thought that, especially in like episode 4, where he was just like he was just kind of like lying down and just like relaxing and just having to deal with them. I thought that stuff worked
Mhm,
really well. But yeah, there's just some moments where I'm just like, come on, Tom, you can give it a little bit more. I know you can do it.
mhm.
But he's getting old in age, man. He needs to he needs to let go of the ropes, if you know what I mean.
He's been doing this a long time. But yeah, I think for season 18, I think it's pretty good. Pretty good, performance. Can I
Anything in particular to say about Romana with Lala Ward? she's just kind of fine this episode, in my opinion. And there's nothing really too much to like to put out there. She does a serviceable job. There's nothing bad about this
Yeah,
performance.
solid. Did I
And then you already talked about it. Ben, go off on your rant about Matthew Waterhouse in this episode.
you know, I know his reputation, and I thought he was fine in Full Circle. Not, he bugged me a little bit at times, but mostly like, yeah, he's a kid, whatever. Oh, this one,
Yeah.
he's not in it a lot, but when he did, I don't know, he just really bugged me, ticked me off. He felt very like entitled, like, "Do you have any
Yeah.
cheese? Oh, I suppose you wouldn't. Hmm, I'm gonna take this coat and oh, they're offering me infinite power. I mean, who am I to say no?"
I did. All right. I can't lie, Ben. I did kind of enjoy that Adric was like, you know what, Romana? I might want to be a vampire. This sounds kind of like you. You're not giving me a good offer right here, Romana. They're offering me all this power, and I get to live forever. Why? What's wrong with that, Romana? What's wrong with that? I did kind of find that funny that Adric is just on the side of why
I
not?
mean, yeah, I suppose at this point in time, he isn't even quite a part of the TARDIS crew yet. There isn't that necessarily that trust between them quite yet. He's
No,
a stowaway who's being rebellious.
those goddamn teenage years, man.
Yeah. Uh, and then they have to like take a lot of their time out of the day and try and rescue him, and he's not going for it. I don't know. He bugged me. I'm hoping he's better next
Yeah,
time.
we'll see. As you are aware, the reputation there is just not strong, and I, 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 I do feel similar to you that this episode is just. I liked him in state, not state of decay. In I
Full
liked him
circle.
in full circle. Like he wasn't that bad. It was like okay, why do people hate Adric so much? And then you get to this episode, and you're like, oh, that's why people hate Adric.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that like Matthew Waterhouse isn't the greatest actor in the world. There is a part of it there that is age, of course, but also there's a part of it that's like he's not given that great of material. Like he said, he just kind of is just the lines of dialogue that turns up from is very much entitled. So like, yeah, it's a shame.
Mhm. What about K9?
Anything memorable to say about K9 in this episode? I don't remember jack shit about K9 in this episode.
Uh, I remember there was, like, a whole thing where, like, the rebels didn't trust K9, and then he has to apologize to K9 because K9 did a good job.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
I mean, he didn't die or break down this time, so that's a record.
and I don't think his batteries were used at all either. So like,
Yeah,
everyone's favorite battery bank, K9. How many iPhones do you think K9 could charge, Ben?
I don't know. Does does K9 have, like does he charge from the TARDIS? How does he get
That's a great
how does he
question.
charge his,
And just like a normal,
power? He doesn't have, like, solar
it's
panels.
just a normal like it's just like a normal power outlet. You just plug it into the TARDIS.
Or does his, no, he wouldn't have that. It would be like his little antenna, like, touches the wall and he just absorbs it.
No, no, I'm thinking about it. It's like a vacuum that like you just like the cord just comes out. You just have to keep on yanking on the cord.
Like, his tail comes out.
But yeah, would do you think that the professor that made K9? Well, also that wasn't really clear of who actually was did the professor make him or was this something he bought? But anyways, with the professor, well, like then also this is Mach 2, so this isn't even
No,
the
this
professor.
is
Like
one that the
who knows what
doctor
this?
built or acquired.
So like where who? It's a good question if K9 has solar panels in there somewhere. If you just put him out in the bright sun, like does he get any energy out of
I
that?
I don't know. There are definitely times where he says, "Low on power," and then he's fine. Like, I don't know if it is like a car where, if you leave it for a while, it'll charge its own battery or what. I don't know.
That's a good question. Vampires are cool, Ben. I don't know if you know that.
Mhm.
Is there anything to say about the vampires this episode? The 3 characters that are the vampires. Let me get their names real quick. The 3 who rule,
Kalmar,
which
Ivo, and
are
Okon? No, that's not it. Um, Okon, Zargo, and Camilla.
but do you have anything to say about our vampire
They got
villains?
some crazy makeup.
Which I
Yeah.
dig.
When they go full vampire mode in like part 3 and part 4, it seemed kind of silly when they're like, I'm gonna get you. And they like pick up and throw a guy and he just dies from being thrown.
Mm.
It's a little hard to take seriously, but overall, I thought they were good. Yeah.
All right, Ben. I think it's time for cliffhangers. What are the cliffhangers this
Alrighty.
episode? Oh, actually, no. Before cliffhangers, we
Special
have oh shit.
effects.
Uh, yes. Do we have special effects? What I was thinking about that while watching it. What's the best special effect? Because I think the worst one is probably the end stuff with the spaceship.
What's the best?
But what's the best? That's hard for me. Nothing really particular stood out to me.
Not really. Yeah, I got nothing.
But would you agree the worst one was that the end special effect
Yeah.
with like the
The
spaceship?
spaceship was definitely rough.
We already said the impact the story has is Time Lord Victor. It has some effect on Time Lord
Yeah,
Victorious, but God, do I know what effect?
indeed. So you ready to talk about cliffhangers?
Yes, but
So the
what's the
first
cliffhanger?
one, doc the doctor and Romana are attacked by a swarm of bats. Two Doctor and Romana are in like the crypt of the castle, and uh Akon finds them and he says, "Welcome to my domain." And the third one, trying to rescue Adric, Romana is attacked by Zargo. Which do you think was best? None of them, I think, are really great.
No, probably. What was the one that was enter to my domain?
The second one?
Welcome to my domain. Yeah, that maybe that would be mine.
Sure, yeah. So then, how would you rate this episode?
Okay, so the big thing is this isn't as good as Horror Fangrock. I gave Fangrock an 8.7. Is this as good as Brain and Mobius? This isn't as good as Brain and Mobius. So, is this as good as Stones of Blood? That's a great question. That's where I'm like, it's in that. I'm thinking it's in that 7.8 to 8.1 range where it's hard for me to tell where this would fit. Uh,
Full Circle was 7.9. Did you like it more than Full Circle?
that's a great question. That's a great question, Ben, because it's pretty similar, I would say. I think I enjoyed this slightly more, but I don't even know if that's 0.1% more. Ah, I'm gonna go 7 point. I'm just gonna do 7.9 again.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm gonna do my same thing and do 8, same as Full Circle as well, for an average rating of 7.95. Uh, and then of course, Doctor Who magazine does a poll every decade or so since the 90s. Most recently in 2023, State of Decay ranked 15th, up from 2014 where it was 20th, and 2009 where it was 19th, and in 1998 it was 16, which to me, I would interpret that as people liked it. The DVD came out, people didn't like it as much as they thought they did. And then maybe they revisited it for Time Lord Victorious and were like, actually, no, this is actually pretty good.
Well, the Blu-ray would have came out by the point that they did the 2023 poll.
Oh, yep, true. Because that was one of the first collection sets.
I think that was like the third or fourth
Yeah,
one.
it was like
It was really early on. It was the second time.
12, 1918.
I think that sounds about right. I don't know where season 22 came in there because that was a pretty early one as well, and 26 was also an early one.
12, 1918, 10, 23, 26. Yeah. How's the big old list look?
So the before Doctor Who got woke, because remember Doctor Who just got woke in 2018 when they cast a woman as the Doctor. It was never woke before then, man, right?
Never.
Before it got woke, it was number 109. So in between the greatest show in the galaxy was number above it, and then below it was the Visitation. I think that it's insane that the greatest show in the galaxy is that low. That's one of my favorite
Is
Doctor Who
that
stories. I'm very excited to get to
25?
that in the podcast. Yeah, that's 25. So yeah, it's
Is it
pretty
woke
high on the
though?
list. It's greatest show in the galaxy. Is it woke? I don't think it's that woke. Like it's somewhat woke. Like it's somewhat woke, but it's not full woke, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea
Again,
what you mean.
like we established also, Ben, that Doctor Who was never woke up until 2018. Never woke. Like Green Death is not woke at all.
Not even a little bit. Well, think that'll do it then. Join us next week for Warrior's Gate, the finale
Woohoo.
of the E-Space trilogy.
It's a shame it was only a trilogy. Would have been cool if they had like was it a season?
I guess. I mean, what so far has there been anything that's like, oh yeah, this could only have happened in E-Space?
But like just think about the potential. Because again, the Eighth Doctor series did something similar where it's like he goes to a different universe. It's like, okay, cool. There's gonna be so much fun, interesting stories there. And like supposedly, I haven't listened to all of them, but supposedly, like most of them, it just goes back to regular Doctor Who stuff because there's not really that many opportunities to be like, okay, so now it's like it can be anything. Well, if it can be anything, let's just have it be just a Doctor Who story.
Okay. We will see. So tune in next week for that. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.